Today is going to be a little bit just more relaxation. So just get comfortable, release any tension that you might have in your body. It's a very good idea to lay flat if you can, get under the covers if it's chilly. Really make yourself at home in your relaxation. So we're going to first talk about families, and then we're going to talk a little bit about anxiety. The two often go hand in hand. And it can be hard because, we're supposed to love our families, right? We're supposed to have total positivity about our families, but we can love and we can care about our family members, but it doesn't always feel like they care about us. Interacting with some members might be very triggering and may trigger our codependency or our dependency or our need for separation. And sometimes it can propel us into shame, rage, guilt, and feeling helpless. It can be very difficult to truly be detached. We might think that we're detached if we move away, or if we just have it in our head that that person isn't appropriate for us. Sometimes it could be a mom that seems like she just doesn't care or doesn't feel that you're ever good enough or overlooks you, neglects you. And the reality is that detachment has to be on an emotional level. So you might be able to live with that person, but be emotionally detached, or you could live miles away and be completely attached. So detachment on an emotional level with certain family members can be difficult. It can be difficult to separate their own issues and their own triggers and problems from our own, especially when they project them. It can be difficult to own our own power because their stuff's getting in the way. It's difficult, but it's not impossible. So the first step is awareness and acceptance. No biggie, right? But we have to acknowledge that without guilt, our feelings and thoughts are really just powerful. So ridding ourselves of the guilt to allow ourselves to get angry and to express that anger and to lift the shame is important. Now, here's the beauty of it. We don't have to blame our family members. We don't have to point the finger. We just have to accept the goal of freedom, to choose to focus on our own power and our own passions and to take care of ourselves and to just focus on ourselves. We can become free of patterns of the past. We can recover, and progress can be the goal. And you can be patient with yourself. So right now, I just want you to focus on breathing and just really digest everything that I just said. And, with what I just said, did some of it trigger you? Did you get a little pissed off? Did you feel okay with it? And just focus on your breathing and just imagine that you're in a beautiful big water area, maybe a pond, maybe just a pool at the bottom of a waterfall, maybe an ocean, maybe a swimming pool. Just anywhere that you feel comfortable. And if you're not comfortable with swimming, maybe make sure that what you're envisioning is somewhere that you could touch the bottom, or that you have some kind of flotation device near you, just something very comfortable. Just imagine you're near water and in the water. And I want you to imagine that you're swimming across maybe that pond, the pool, the lake, whatever it is. And suddenly, I want you to focus on the distance remaining. And you might start to feel like you're floundering, or you might worry that you might go under if you're focusing on how much more you have. And it's not because you can't swim, even if it's just in your imagination right now. It's because you became overwhelmed. the feeling of how much more do I have? I mean, how many of us have exercised and we look down at the time and or at our watch and thought, is it time yet to be done? It feels like we've been exercising for a long time and it's only been 8 minutes or whatever. Whenever we look at the clock and we feel like we can't go on, that's a little bit of overwhelm. Even if you're bored, if you've been in a meeting where you're really bored and you look at the clock, that's a little overwhelm happening. So panic is really at the belly of this. So it's not the task at hand. It's not the swimming. It's not the dealing with the parent. It's not the focus of maybe some of the bad relationships, although they are all areas where we learn about what's happening underneath. It's actually not what really needs to be worked on. It's not to say that if you're working with a therapist or even working with me, that we're not going to work on that. But we're going to go a little bit deeper because that's where the real issues are. So remember, it's the panic and the overwhelm, not the person, not the task. That's the actual enemy. So focus on your breathing, relax your shoulders, and I want you to imagine that you have many moments where you might feel crowded and overwhelmed. You might have times where you feel like you can't possibly accomplish what needs to be done. And I want you just to breathe into that. Allow yourself to feel a little bit of that agitation. And I want you to now imagine that you can look forward and envision whatever it is that you want. And just make it a small goal right now. So let's just pretend that you're maybe at a lake, a pool, a waterfall, and you see the end in sight. And you're looking forward and you feel excited about where you're going, what you're going to reach. If you've envisioned anything, if you've looked at something, you know that you can get to it. I want you to imagine that you're swimming and your arms are really strong and you're focusing on deep breathing. And I want you to focus on this moment right now, the belief that all is well and you are going with the flow. Maybe there's even a current or some kind of a wave or something that's helping, pushing you, propelling you forward. And all you need to do to reach your goal is to focus on what presents itself naturally, what is orderly, what is in sync right now today. We're empowered when we accomplish and when we're peaceful. That's when we're most empowered. But panic can stop the process. But trust and guided action will stop panic. So focusing on deep breathing and getting peaceful, and know that you can accomplish little tiny obstacles every step of the way. And sometimes that obstacle or that goal is just for you to focus on breathing and being comfortable and being able to envision something in the near future that you really want and being able to get to it. You are your own guide. So when we get on track and when we're focusing on pushing through and going with the flow, if we get tired, we can kind of tread a little bit. Emotionally, we can kind of hang back a little bit. You never ever have to worry about being pushed too forward, propelled too much, or going under emotionally. You can always sort of hang back. You can take your time and you can be very peaceful. Nothing has to happen. Just keep the focus simple, one emotional stroke at a time, moving gently. And before you know it, you reach the destination. I want you to breathe at what it might feel like to reach that destination. And know that whether panic was there or not, you still can reach the destination. Focusing on your breathing. Relax the shoulders, relax the arms. Close the eyes if they haven't been closed already. And I bet you forgot that we even were talking about family members and everything else right now. Maybe you remember a little bit of it, but the bottom line is focusing on the here and now and what you can accomplish is the most important thing that you can ever do for yourself and for the people around you.